to provide what perhaps the investigators thought that I would have some bit of information. So I've just done that as a very good citizen of this nation. I just want to recommend that there should be a budget to build new offices. It looks a bit very, very narrow. It looks a bit dilapidated though. And we made it a budget to get a proper regional KCI office as you go to the future. but we've been able to engage and say what could be said. Secondly, in reference to the same, we've shared what possibly could be shared, but we still hold the view that whatever happened was unfortunate. As leadership of Kericho County, we came out strongly to condemn any sense of hooliganism and any sense of destructions of property. But while still holding the view that whatever grievances our people has in regards to mechanization, in regard to the NLC directives that we need to resurvey the tea plantation, in regard to the other issues that inform the community relationship with multinationals, we will still continue agitating for the same. We'll still continue discussing the same, but in a very good, cordial environment. You remember that we already had a task force that I set up to look into these issues. And truth enough is that we've made a lot of advancement with the task force. And they had made their proposals, which we had already come up with a technical team to work out on the implementations on the same. So the discussions will continue. We will expand, and we have already expanded it to Bomet County, so that we are bringing in the leadership of Bomet and Kericho in terms of looking for a lasting solutions to our people. We all know that the questions of multinationals has always been an historical issue. 2013, before I became the governor, and 2017 respectively, we have a case in the UK which was pursued by Professor Jeppoin. We have also similar cases at the East African Court, and there has been all these issues. But my argument has been we can always, pursue other alternatives, discussions, negotiations, and legislations until we found out a lasting solution. So it's a work in progress, and we want to ask our people to be calm wherever they are. We are okay. It's back to work as usual. We have finished what we're invited to do here. If they will require me again, I will present myself. Even if it is midnight, I'll present myself. Because I'm also keen to know who really, created all these activities that so touching of property, including even personal property in Brooktown. And it will be interesting for me to also know that. I would also want to mention at this point that it is important I know our political detractors and others may want to create stories, but I want to say I've been very fortunate. Personally, I don't have any house in the tea estate. I'm not hosted by the tea estate, whether Ekaterra, whether Finlays, whether all those names that are there in Kericho. I'm not a tenant in any of them. I operate from my house, Yasingoro. We will continue engaging our people to see the way forward. And we also emphasize that at this point of time, as leadership, we will continue working even extra hard to ensure that we don't only just bring solutions that are temporary, but to bring long-lasting solutions to this event, so that we forestall a very good working community. Because at the one hand, we need investors to come to Kericho. At the other hand, we also hear the cry of our people that they need to benefit from investors that are around Kericho. So we work this part to try to bridge the differences and call in for peace, and call in for everybody that we be careful in our way of doing things, our utterances, and let's learn that our counties, the counties of Kericho and Bomet, are bigger counties and politicians. They need to live for posterity, and we are determined. I'm telling my people from Kericho that we will move this journey, we will do this journey together, and I'm very sure that we are going to have fruitful results. I just want to mention something. Actors, we know that we have ambitions for the future, but we are saying again that we will not work a direction where we will weaponize and try to distort operations in the county for political mileage. And Though I may not say this much, but I'll just say if there are people who are involved in these things, we call upon them that just relax. Hiyo wakati ya 2027 ikifika, tutacheza tu hiyo mchezo, haitatushinda. But what is very important now is to ensure that we work on the economic growth of our people and build a very cohesive county and counties of Bomet and Kericho so that our Kipsigis people prosper out of it. Of course, there are other issues away from this. We have Mau, Efictis that are yet to be settled. They have caveat farms in Olengurwani. And these are issues that we'll be addressing as leaders for the interest of our people. Because when we are elected as leadership, our duty is to represent the people. Because power is donated. It belongs to the people. I don't want to say much. I have my team of legal team here led by Wakili Hilary Sigay, the senator for Bomet County, who is my personal lawyer. We have Steve Pico and many others. And maybe I'll just ask Senator to ask, can we confirm if you have in surplus? If you have in surplus, we see how we can go about it. If you are not, if we are charging you in excess in terms of the land rates, then we see how to go about it. But I want to inform you today that much as there's been a lot of court cases, but there have also been negotiations within our task force operations that is attempting to pull all the cases outside the court so that we begin to reason together as a community and create that very harmonious relationship and move forward. So hopefully it's a direction that will materialize as we move to the future. And I'm happy that it's a very advanced level that we are negotiating on how we can pull a number of cases in the court so that we are able to thrash out whatever remains grey issues. And remember, these are not issues that happened in my time as a governor. There's been issues all along. You remember Kipkalia Kones spoke about these issues. Professor Jonathan Ngena talked about these issues. Taita Towe talked about these issues. So it's been ongoing. But it's hopeful that as our leadership of time, we really create a lasting solution to these issues so that we're able to really move. Because, you know, of course, land is a very emotive issue in Africa generally as a sense of identity. And we are saying at the same time we are calling in for more investors, but we also want to see how we are going to work closely with them. So it's a conversation. And that's why of importance today is a rallying call to every person of whatever rank that we need not to use violence to achieve a certain agenda. Of course, we were in a correct trajectory as a county. You remember that already Ekaterra had begun employing some people, close to 6,000. It was a very good trajectory. We were thrashing in some other issues. But the negative push of a different agenda probably could have dampened a bit. But I'm very sure that sooner than later we are going to resume discussions. I think that after the 13th, we are resuming discussions with KDGA. And we will continue moving in that direction because, like I said, power is donated, and the interest of whatever case we are advancing is the interest of our people. But we still say this very strongly, that let us avoid any element of cronyism, any element of violence, because this jeopardize any decent and structured constitutional engagement. So let me ask Wakili from there to just